What's going on, everybody? It's your boy PTK Bland back in the building with another episode of the Shop Podcast. Thank you guys once again for joining us live. Another awesome Saturday afternoon. Thank you guys so much. You guys always show up, show out, and support the live show, support all the guests coming on. And when I'm talking about guests, man, we got two awesome, amazing guests. And these guys are returning guests. You guys seen them on here before. First, we're going to go ahead and start with the boy Stagger Lee, one of my favorite streamers, guys. Go check him out. I'll make sure that information is in the description below. But we're going to go ahead and let you just talk about what's been going on with you, Stagger. Let everybody know where they can find you, man.
Hey, man, thanks for having me back on. I appreciate it. Stagger Lee. Lately, I've just been grinding the streams. I just did a charity stream for 8-Bit Salute recently, raised like
shout out
$3,300. Yeah, I got to throw that out there, man. I did pretty good on that. And
nice.
You can find me on Mixer, X Stagger X Lee.
Link in the description.
Yep. So,
all right, let's get it. Not a problem, brother. We appreciate you, man. Once again, guys, go follow the man. He does amazing work. Once again, he did just say he did a charity stream. So if you guys want to go support that, I made sure that information is in the description below as well. Go follow him on Mixer as well, man. Appreciate you guys. Now, we're going to move on to one of my brothers, one of my good friends, man. This guy is doing some amazing shit right now. He actually has one of my favorite channels right now, man. He's doing some cool video game musician mashup, man. It's amazing. But his channel link will be in the description as well. I will let him introduce himself. If you guys don't already know, go ahead and give yourself a shout out, Nick.
What's going on, guys? Nintendo Direct, aka Studio Nintendo. As he mentioned, I got a new channel that I'm doing where I do just pretty much video game covers and stuff like that, and I'm really enjoying doing those. So I got two different channels. Check both of them out. The one I have right now is actually the Studio Nintendo is actually the one I'm using to talk in the chat. So if you feel free any given time, just go over there, check out those new videos. Like I said, working hard on that, and I'm glad to be here. This is actually the first podcast I've been on in a minute, actually.
Yeah,
ever since being off of Salty's podcast, it's been a while. So I'm excited.
We appreciate it, bro. Every time Nick gets on here, man, we always have a great show. Either way, he always contributes to the show. Once again, go follow him both channels. Make sure you go subscribe. That new shit he's doing is next level. You have not seen anything like it. And you probably won't unless they, bite. But anyway, we ain't gonna talk about that. But go follow him, man. He's doing phenomenal work there. Super grinds hard, man. But appreciate you being on the show. And last but not least, my right hand man, Fuzzy Belvedere. But before Fuzzy, you speak, we're gonna go ahead and give a shout out to my guy Zalker. Appreciate you, bro. My other guy, Jarhead, man. Appreciate you. The other two members of the Shop Podcast. Hope you guys are watching live. Appreciate you too. But Fuzzy, how you doing today, man? Let everybody know what's going on.
Hey, Fuzzy Belvedere here. Been pretty good. Getting another character to World Tier 5 in the division with one of the chat members, Shinsu. So
best mod in the world.
Yeah, so it's been a pretty fun day. Been running around with the kids earlier. They had their belt test and everything, but glad to be here with some awesome guests and with you guys. And just want to talk some games. It's this is my my beer time, I guess, equivalent.
Beer time. Let's go.
Let's get it. So we cannot segue any better than that. So appreciate you once again, Fuzzy, man. Always on the show. Appreciate you. Love you, bro. You're like a brother to me, man. We're going to start the show a little different. Normally, this is like the second or third topic generally, but we're going to start with the poll of the week, man, and get it out the way because this week's poll of the week was actually incredibly fun. If you don't know, I do the poll of the week every single Monday. Follow me on Twitter. All that stuff's in the link in the description below. Appreciate that follow as you guys do so. Now we're gonna just start with the poll of the week. So we will cover the results, and this is going to be if you could get rid of which narrative would you get rid of before the next gen? Which narrative would you get rid of before the next gen? And I had a couple options: Metacritic scores, power, sales, or other. And essentially, Metacritic scores won in a landslide. A lot of the comments talked about Metacritic. Some were on the other side. Sales actually came in second place, which is pretty surprising. I thought Power would actually win, but let you guys know in the description what you guys think. We're gonna go ahead and start with you, Stagger. What do you think, man, about the poll? What option would you have picked?
I did actually vote, and I think it's Metacritic. Okay. So, I mean, all of them were super freaking valid, but I'm so can't even describe tired of how tired I am of listening to people say, "Well, it got a shitty Metacritic score, so that game's horrible."
My gosh, I
Oh
know.
my goodness. Yeah,
And and like people that won't play a game unless it scores high. It's like, do you like not pick your own food too? So that's how I feel about it. I mean, I'm tired of hearing about Metacritic being the be all end all of people's opinions. So
Well, it was so heavily leaned on this generation. This is the first generation where that took precedence. Because I mean, think about it. You know, I mean, the only time growing up, I'm a little bit older, as most of us here on the panel are, and the only place I could get any kind of review from was my grocery store magazine aisle.
Right.
Game Informer, Game Pro.
Yep.
How many times, you know, you were standing there in the aisle, mom telling you to come on, you trying to get the latest information on. That was the only time you was gonna get it.
Buy the magazine.
And then you would rip the little paper out, hoping mom would sign it and turn it in so you can get the actual subscription. She always threw it away. You know what I'm saying? So that was the only time I could get my information. So I think there's a little bit of a difference there, Stagger. Like as far as, you know, social media is so big nowadays, instant gratification, you know, instant news, instant feedback. Everybody wants, you know, gratification right away. So if I can get the first hot take out and say this game isn't good, a lot of people are going to gravitate towards that. We've seen a lot of people grow, a lot of channels grow, a lot of journalists get big followings due to that kind of, you know, tactic, I guess you would say. So what would be your, you know, thought process on that?
that's true. I mean, like, I remember, so like you say, like you saw, like Nintendo Power and all that stuff was a little bit late in the game for me. Like for me, it was like box art and commercials. That was reviews. Like, does this game look cool and fun to play? And is your friend playing it on his Nintendo? You know what I mean? That's really what I remember. But like, it's definitely got to get that first hot take out there and, you know, essentially crap all over a game unnecessarily sometimes because, you know, it has one little flaw that you found randomly yourself, you know, pre-launch. You know, it's just, it gets old and it just seems like everybody wants to do it, and negativity is the way to get clicks now. You know, and then you don't need Metacritic. There's plenty of other avenues out there to find out if you like a game, like streamers, YouTubers. I mean, granted, you know, there's some negative ones, but your friends. You don't need a review site or a writer who isn't really into gaming all that much telling you what you should and shouldn't play.
Pretty much. Pretty damn much. And I definitely feel that way about that. So, Nick, so on you, bro. What do you think? I mean, out of those options, which one would you pick, essentially?
You know, I would probably go Power. Just recently, you know, me recently, you know, gaming, I've sort of started to play games for what they are and not worry about power, and just worthy if they're solid games. I literally just got a PC to play games on PC because, you know, the whole power thing, I absolutely hate it. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
for me recently, like power has been like the least of my worries. So that'd be one narrative I'd love to get rid of. Like, if it's a solid game, who cares, you know, about the power? If it's a great game, it's at least 60 frames, I'm good with it. You know what I mean? So that's one narrative. But that also ties into Metacritic because a lot of those scores are determined on power and what these games look like. You know what I mean? That's a big part of that score. So they kind of go hand in hand if you think about it.
Yeah. True. No, that makes sense. That makes sense as well. And you know, the funny thing about the scale nowadays is it's kind of an anomaly, and I think a lot of people have missed this. And I think I don't know if I posted this on Twitter. I was having a conversation with somebody about it. But the funny thing is that we'll see a game that scores like a 7, and people are shitting on it. I'm like, wait a minute, are they grading on a 5 to 10 scale? Because last time I checked, 7's a good grade. Like, if I got a 7 on a math test, I passed the test. That's not a bad grade. That means it's a good game with maybe some other qualities. Now, I prefer they go to a pros and cons system rather than a 1 to 10 system.
I agree with you on that one.
You know, so I mean, I think that's just that wouldn't be too difficult of a change, and nobody's going to get upset, you know, if you get a pros and cons because you're giving your opinions on both sides. You know, it's you know, you can't naturally create a bias for pros and cons. It forces you to pick both, and if there's none, you know, then you have justification as to why there's none. So, you know, I don't know, man. I just think it's kind of an odd system. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. How many games have we seen that got 7s, 7.5s, and people are like, "Oh, get that shit out of here!" So
let me give you some examples of recent. Like, I mean, I just went Nintendo just because I'm the Nintendo guy, right? But Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee. are in the 70s. But are those games trash? Like, do people actually enjoy playing those games? You know what I mean? Like, I enjoyed playing that game. Yeah. Like, I'm just looking it up. The current Switch games that are at the Metacritic score, and Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu, and Eevee are in the 70s. Like, come on, let's be real. That those were solid games. Those were fun games. So I mean, like I said, I hate those narratives. Both of them for sure.
Yeah, it's tough. It really is tough, man. I just think that this generation, man, the clickbait, the whole like instance of social media, its influence on video games and people's opinions is crazy. So we're gonna get to you, Fuzz, but I know you got a lot to say about this, man. But you've always talked about this on the show on and off throughout the years in many different forms. So I really want to get your opinion on what do you think about those specific choices, and what option would you pick? And I know you did vote, by the way. So
yeah. Well, I kind of went left field because I mean, a lot of them are nuisance topics nowadays. I would like to see them all kind of go away, but the main one is the exclusives, and here's why. I mean, let's
wait. We gotta elaborate. No exclusives at all, or what are you saying here? Wait a minute.
Yeah, I want people to stop making that like that's the only thing that makes a system worthwhile buying. Like, I do understand that they do help sell consoles. It's like, why would you pick one over the other? And if it's a particular game, if that's what you're going for, I understand. But to constantly bicker back and forth on, well, these exclusives are better than these exclusives. It's like, okay, if they score better, fine. It should be about if you enjoy them or if you had fun playing them. For me, there are only certain exclusives on either console that I enjoy playing. So I'll be the first to say I'm a racing car guy. So you have exclusives on both ends between PlayStation and Xbox. And, I was diehard PlayStation for the longest time. And then Drive Club came out, and it's, well, that's old news, but it's just one of those things where people put so much emphasis on exclusives on that console. Like, that's the only thing that people buy, when the numbers clearly show that games like Madden or NBA 2K and Call of Duty, those are the actual front runners of what people buy and play on these systems.
Fortnite.
Yeah, exactly. So us as enthusiasts, sure, we're all for the exclusives because we're enthusiasts. We're going to play more than the average person. We're going to play many different or a bigger variety of games than the casual. But let's be honest, the casual just buys it for what their friends have or the games that they've known and loved for years, whether it be Madden or FIFA or whatever. That's the thing that people are going to be playing. Right. So exclusives, that's great. If the exclusives on the console of your choice are to your liking, kudos to you. If the ones on the other console are not to your liking, well, I'd hate to say the old saying, if you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. But people are, have the right to say whatever they want.
The internet, that shit does not apply. Sorry.
Yeah, like I have a PlayStation, right? I recently got a PlayStation because I wanted to play God of Wars and the Spider-Mans and Horizon Zero Dawns, right? Oh, let me get this PlayStation for the exclusives. I have not touched one of those exclusives since I got the thing. Let me just be real about that. Like, I haven't touched one. I bought a Horizon Zero Dawn. I have Spider-Man. I haven't touched them yet. I've been playing on my PlayStation with my homies. Been playing Fortnite, Apex. I've been playing those games instead of playing the exclusive. So, like, I agree that the exclusive argument is one that I absolutely just hate. Just because most of the time people are going to play what they want to play, or like you said, they're going to play with their friends or where they want to play at. They're not really going to buy these consoles for the exclusives.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. That's a great damn argument. I mean, exclusives are important because they do. They are one of the determining factors for differentiating between the consoles. They're a deciding factor in that. So they are important, but you guys are right. The emphasis that's put on the exclusive maybe shouldn't be as big as it has been, because really in this console war, we throw shit back and forth over the fence. It's kind of something that's like that one thing that we can constantly pick to say, this is a little bit different, it's a little bit better, but it's all subjective at the end of the day. So just make your own decisions. And I always say, do your research yourself. Go follow the people you want to follow. Go, devise your own opinion based on the information you pull up. Watch videos. do things like that. Formulate your own opinion. But that was a great warm up topic, man. That was definitely a good topic to warm up for the show. Once again, everybody, if you're watching live, go ahead and smack that like button, man. We on the road to 2K subscribers. Subscribe, retweet the show. Bring your friends. But we're gonna go ahead and move on, man. This next topic is a very, very good one. Now, this is something that if you're not on Xbox, you have not had the luxury of being able to enjoy. So EA Access is going to be going to PlayStation, PS4, I believe in July per article that I have here on my phone. It's going to be going to PS4 in July. Now, we have enjoyed this luxury here on Xbox for a while now. So I want to see what you guys' opinion. No, I'm not even being, smug or anything like that. No cup of tea. No cup of tea. So but we're going to go ahead and talk about this thing, man. I do want to dissect this and break this down. Got a lot to unpack. We're going to go ahead and start with Fuzzy on this one, man. We're going to start with you, Fuzzy. What do you think about this, man? I mean, are you happy about it? To be honest,
yeah, I'm definitely happy.
I'm happy about it.
It's about time. Yeah, I know the Sony execs were saying before they didn't see the value in it, and it's like, okay, but your customers probably would. So it's about time they finally did this. I'm not saying it's the end all be all. This is something that is the greatest next thing since sliced bread type of deal, but it's definitely something that for those of us that like some of the sports games that EA produces or some of the other games that EA produces, this helps give you a little bit of a discount, a little bit of early access, which is always nice. So you can kind of, test things out before you plop your full, 55 or $60 or whatever, however much, depending after the discount for the game you're, looking forward to. Mm-hmm. So it definitely helps in that regard. It also helps in the sense that, okay, let's say you're a Madden guy, but you would like to see what the NBA Live game is like, or you've always had, 2K. Now with, EA Access, just access NBA Live in the vault. Yeah, it might be last year's season, but at least it gives you an idea of what it's like. So when the 2020 versions of the games come out, you can go ahead and say, well, I've played 19, yay or nay, and then that way you got a little bit more insight into, their sports games. But if you're a Need for Speed, fan, now you have all the games in the vault. Same thing with Battlefield. You have a lot of those games in the vault. I'm pretty sure at some point Anthem's going to be in the vault. I don't know how soon, but it's
oh Lord,
that's going to be ASAP.
It's not in there already. Come on.
Yo, I'm going to be real with you. I'm waiting for it to come. I was going to buy Anthem, and then I wanted to wait because I want to wait about a week or two to see what actually happened, and I'm glad I didn't. But as soon as that goes into the vault, I'm downloading that game.
Yeah. And that will actually probably help that game a good bit, considering the player base is probably going back to their old favorites, whether it be Division or Destiny and stuff like that. But until they make some fixes, having that injection of more players and possibly if they have a PvP thing figured out by then, that will help save that game. It could be what that game needs to kind of get its second win. But having EA Access is just. It's one of those nice features that, you could pay $5 a month and spend $60 a year, or do like most people and just get the card for $30 for the year, and know that you have access to a lot of those games that, you could buy them at, GameStop for, $5 to $20 on some of them, but you have them now digitally. So that way you don't have to worry about swapping discs and things like that. So it's a nice have. It's just one thing I wish that, and I know it's not going to be the case, is that if you already have it on Xbox, it should just be a login on the PlayStation. But I understand these companies are, out here to make money, so I got to decide.
Oh yeah, they're definitely not gonna let that happen.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That Lord, but it's a good deal though overall. For if you, like I said, if you primarily play on PlayStation, it's a great deal. Something, just another option, something that's really, really consumer friendly. So we're gonna go ahead and move with this topic on to you, Stagger, man. What do you think about this coming to PS4? The more the merrier. I mean, for me.
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, I really like, was already said, just it covers a lot of, you get more access to more games at a pretty good price. I've enjoyed it. I have it. I'm maxed out at the year. I think I got a little bit more than that, but I don't use it a lot, but it's given me the one thing that isn't as cool is you're not going to get your backwards compatibility with PS3 games, kind of like how we get 360 games because they just don't work over there. right?
Yeah.
So
Not yet.
they're missing a little bit of, you know, the some of the games that we have that are Xbox 360 that they're not really probably going to have access to. So there's a little bit of a less value, I would say, but it's still for $5 a month at $30 a year. You really can't go wrong at getting some games you may not own and having access to them, and getting a 10-hour trial for some of these new games that are coming out is just, why wouldn't you want that?
Yeah. Great damn value.
Yeah.
Great. And I had a quick question. I just put it in the chat as well. Was it an exclusivity deal with Xbox, or was it just something that they did it just run out kind of a situation, or was it just something that they eventually figured Sony was just like, yeah, and they just finally just changed their mind and said, okay, cool.
You know, I don't know, to be honest. I think that, but Sony sees it now. There might be something to the subscription based stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a change of heart with Sony, because remember how they said, who plays old games? And then they came out with the PlayStation Classic, which I guess actually proves that PlayStation guys don't really play old games.
Which bombed.
Yeah.
But,
$20.
yeah, but with them
trying to give it away at Best Buy.
What?
Buy PS4, get the PS1 Classic free.
Right. They're trying to give us away at Best Buy now. Like, yo.
No,
Yeah, that thing is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it was just a change of heart on their executives' end, or maybe EA came back to them and was like, "Hey," and it was a deal that they just couldn't say no to, type of thing. And in any event, I think, you know, the PlayStation fan base is going to be the ones that benefit. They're going to have something that they may not have been calling for, but I'm pretty sure once they get to access it, they'll you know, see why we enjoyed it for, you know, the few years that we had it over on our end alone. So
We've had it for 5 years now, so it's
it's been a minute. It's been cool, Phil. Yeah. So Nick, let's get your opinion on the whole EA access to PS4, man. What do you think?
I mean, for me, I was just indifferent. I was like, okay, cool. It's coming to PlayStation. Good for them. And you know, who was it that said that? You wonder if you can sign in on both accounts. Was that you, Fuzzy, that said that? Like, yeah. I really hope that you can, because I would love to. Because I have multiple friends that play Madden and multiple EA games on both consoles. Mm-hmm. I would love to be able to use my EA Access account on both. Yeah. That way I could maybe play Madden and try it out on PlayStation and vice versa. You know what I mean? So I hope that's a thing. It's a great value for Sony players, especially for those FIFA and Madden people, because those communities are pretty big on Sony on the PlayStation. So for them to be able to get the game, 10 day or get a 10-hour trial beforehand, try it out, get a discount on it for both FIFA and Madden is a big deal. Plus the backwards, plus the classic from the Vault games is also a big deal. That's what I really take advantage of for EA Access, is just the Vault games that I haven't played, or games that maybe I didn't get a chance to play when they first released. Well, let me go ahead and just pick them up from the Vault. So that's where I really do take advantage of the EA Access. So good on them. I actually thought it was already on PlayStation until that news came out.
I forgot it wasn't on PlayStation.
So like that was the thing for me. I was like, what? They're just now getting it? I thought they already had
it. That's how long we've had it. I forgot it wasn't even on PlayStation.
Yeah, so it's crazy, but good for people on Sony that play exclusively on Sony, but you get that chance.
And once again, it's a sign of things changing. People do change. People do soften up. I don't know what the decision was at the top of Sony, but maybe they saw some value. The timing is a little ironic. There's not much going on right now.
I think they're just testing waters for what's coming up.
Yeah, I think as well. There's some value in that statement as well. So I definitely do see Sony. Everything is deliberate in business. That's one thing. Nothing's really by accident when you talk business. Things tend to be pretty deliberate and strategic. So who knows what's going on once again. But it's a move. It's a consumer friendly move that we all benefit from, and I'm glad everybody's getting a chance to reap the benefits. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the next topic. Once again, as you're filing in, people, smack that like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. So this one is going to be a doozy, and I actually should have saved this shit for last because I feel like we're talking about the most. We're talking about this the most. It's actually going to be loot boxes and politics, man. So recently, there was a senator, Nick's senator. We're gonna blame this shit on you, Nick.
Yeah, it's blaming on me. That's my senator.
It's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm just playing. But this senator essentially is proposing a bill that would ban loot boxes and pay to win microtransactions in games played by minors. Now, I know this shit may sound shallow, but I don't give a shit what he has to say. Okay, let's be honest. So I just think that there's no the politics and gaming don't mix. We don't. That's the last thing we need as a politician or to be governed. They can't even fix Medicare. Like, get the fuck out of here. What do you know about the video game industry? There's no connection there. But you did drop some inside information that he is supposed to be up for re-election. I think you mentioned.
Yeah,
So this may be just a political angle, everybody. We got some insiders here, so you never know. But we're going to start with you, Nick, since this is your guy.
Not my guy. He's not my guy. Let's be real about that. He is not my guy.
Since this is your guy, we're going to start with you.
But
Go
he
ahead,
is the
Nick.
senator of my state.
Go ahead, Nick.
Let me just start with this. First of all, let you start with the background of this guy. Right now, he's up for re-election. Right now, my current state is under a lot of conservative influence, and so he's coming out with these outlandish things. He's trying to, the political side anyway, he's up here trying to regulate Facebook and come up with ideas for that, talking about loot boxes, talking about any idea that would be quote unquote against conservative values, right? So he's just out here just pretty much throwing stuff and see if it sticks. As far as his stance on loot boxes, though, it's like one of those ones where I'm like, all right, man, stop playing, get out of my medium. But at the same time, I'm like, but he's hitting a point that I actually support. So it's like, man, how do I deal with that? Because these loot boxes, in this pay to win model in games nowadays are outlandish, and they're getting out of hand. I know everybody says, well, as long as it's for cosmetics, it's cool, whatever. I get that the whole battle pass with Fortnite and the whole battle pass with all these games coming out, like cool, Apex, whatever. But we saw how it was treated in Battlefront. We see how it's treated in NBA 2K. Let's call it what it is. If you play NBA 2K,
I'm hearing Battlefront was kind of the catalyst.
Yeah, Battlefront was definitely the catalyst. And NBA 2K, let's be real about that. If you play 2K, you go hard into 2K. Unless you grind hours upon hours, it's better off for you to just go and buy the VC. You know what I mean? And so, like, we see these models in these games, and of course, young people are playing these games, especially NBA 2K. Like, I thought NBA 2K were like dudes my age. Nah, most of them are younger kids just out here playing NBA 2K. So it's like, how much time are you spending, or how much money are you possibly spending to be this good in NBA 2K and have multiple characters that are 99? Like, that's really hard to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, I see his point. I would love for the gaming industry to regulate itself in this matter and figure out a way to figure out this loot box situation and not let politicians step in, because that's the last thing I need is politics and politicians stepping into the medium. Regulate yourself before they have to is always been my stance. They need to do something about it.
Well, the funny thing about that statement is it's irony within what you just said, because regulation and gaming that's completely two opposite ends of the spectrum.
Well, right, but remember the ESRB was meant for them to regulate.
True, no, absolutely. That was
like, because the government was like, "Yo, you need to do something." They're like, "No, we got it."
At least that was more so pressure from parents. You got to at least inform parents, make them aware visibly what they're purchasing. Make it, because they weren't putting shit on the box. You can say whatever you want. So
and now we have this situation. I mean, it started with, let's be honest, it started with EA and 2K going all out, and then Fortnite kind of pushed it over the edge. But they're, like I said, that game's free. But really, EA and 2K are the big culprits here, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I absolutely hate it and loathe it.
Yeah. Okay. Good point. So we're gonna roll this right over to you, Stagger, man. I mean, both sides do make compelling arguments, so I do see the angle. Maybe not from the politician, but I do see the argument in general. For that particular stance on loot boxes, pay to win. I don't think anybody have ever really supported that pay to win model. I've never. As a matter of fact, that my biggest detractors, people that I don't even really, opinions I don't really even take lightly. I think they're even in the same opinion that that's not something anybody really supports, is pay to win. There's very few people. Only people really support that are people that don't have a job and can't purchase their own loot boxes, things like that. That's generally 10, 11, 12-year-old kids who can't make those purchases on their own. They have to, rely on their parents. So we're going to go ahead and roll this over to you, man. What do you think about the whole situation?
I think a lot of things about the situation. I'm not a big fan of loot crates and the whole pay to win model at all. I don't mind like the cosmetic stuff. That I don't really care about that. I mean, yeah, the kids want those. Like, I mean, recently I just got a new phone and I had people DMing me wanting me to log into their Fortnite account to get them a special skin for the game that only comes with my phone, and they were offering me money. So that was a little weird.
Wow.
Yeah. It didn't happen, but
crazy.
it was definitely like, dude, that was another one of those things that never happened when I was young. Like, we didn't have that stuff. We didn't have DLC. All those things. We didn't have loot crates. I really thinking like I think that, like Caleb said in the chat, that it does cheapen the experience for everybody. It creates a predatory environment by publishers and devs. I think it unbalances the games and makes it a little bit more unapproachable for, say, me that didn't buy the game when it first came out, and it's 3 months later and it's still really popular and a lot of people are playing it, but they paid and got really awesome guns or really awesome armor, and they're basically unkillable and they can kill you instantly because they have awesome shit. You know, I don't really like that part of it. I also see the whole like kids getting a hold of their parents' credit cards and buying stuff, you know, and people saying like, well, you should parent better. I mean, you can't always see what your kids are doing. I have two myself, and one of them ran off with my collectible the other day and opened it before I could see what was happening. So, yeah. And industry is not like, you know, it should self-regulate, but these companies aren't in the business of not making money. And if they see a loophole or a spot where they can be like, I could take advantage of these people. They like to buy things. We'll put something there for them to buy. It's going to happen. I mean, they've hired psychologists and people that know what triggers people to want to buy more stuff, what like colors, what sounds, you know, and how to entice you to buy this loot crate. So they're not going to regulate that because it's making them a lot of money. So if they're not going to do that, government's going to do what it does and says, I see you taking advantage of people. Fix it. And if you don't, we will.
So I got an opinion. I got a spin on that.
Okay.
I got a spin on that. So what would you guys say? Would your opinion change? And this is for all three of you guys, and any one of you guys can go. Would your guys' opinion change if it was a free-to-play game?
No.
So free-to-play model, not a regular game. You know, like
we haven't seen an example of pay to win in a free. We've seen examples of battle pass. We've seen examples of cosmetics. But we've not seen an example.
Warframe.
Yeah, but come on, man, it's Warframe. Like,
well, I'm saying. You said we haven't seen
Warframe.
Like, haven't even played Warframe's multiplayer. Just
exactly. You said what you said. We haven't seen one, and there are like not extreme models, but what I'm saying is that does that change your opinion though? Since the game's not making any money due to it being free to play, as a way of income, does you think is it viable or no? It's still, I mean, morally, yeah, it's probably still wrong. But
I'm like I said, I don't know because the cosmetic thing is completely different from the pay to win thing. You know what I mean? Like you said, Warframe is like the only game where you see that, but Warframe is not a predominantly PvP game. It's a predominantly PvE game.
Yeah.
So games like I once again, I'm going to go ahead and say Apex, Fortnite, Smite, Paladins, those kind of games that you can get for free and you pay for the cosmetics. That's a kind of a different ballpark, and that's how they make their money though with these free to play games though. In that case, with the God packs, but I know we haven't seen the play to win in a free to play game yet.
I think it's great for single player.
I'm sure it'll happen, but
I'll pay to be better in a single player game. I don't have a problem with that.
Well, that's just that's more of a you thing though. That's a you thing though. That's you saying, okay, well, you know. Yeah. That's okay. That's fine though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's a problem or anything, but that doesn't hurt anybody else. That's an individual decision in that kind of a game. So, but I mean, even in a single player game or something, you know, is it still like, you know, because you got some purists out there who like, oh, you cheating the game, you know, that kind of thing. So I don't know. I guess it just depends on how hardline you are about it. So I don't know. But so free to play is no bueno, right? You guys all agree on that?
I'm against the pay to win in general.
Yeah.
I mean,
role
if
model.
it's multiplayer, whether it's free to play or you have to pay for it, single player, I have a little bit of a different outlook on it, only because you're only affecting your own outcome. You're not possibly griefing or making it a less than stellar gaming experience for somebody else just because you're one-shotting them and they're throwing like a whole pack of ammo at you just to take you down one bar. So free to play, I still think if they're going to do that pay to win thing, it's gotta. I mean, I would rather them regulate themselves, but we all know, like you guys have been saying, if they're making money, they're not going to. I mean, they're going to try their best to continue to make money, which I'm kind of surprised more and more that I look at it that they haven't found a way to monetize cheat codes. I mean,
they might.
Yeah.
This might be their motivating factor. If they lose this monetary model, they'll have to make another one.
Yeah, they have to figure it out to compensate. Someone's going to have to be slack. Because I mean, games aren't going to $85 anytime soon. So
what's that?
I said games aren't going to $85 a game.
No. So they could spend less on advertising and CEO bonuses, but why would you do that?
Yeah,
that's a whole nother topic.
Oh yeah, we're gonna.
Don't get me started on that topic. I have been on a very, very pro game developer time for you guys to unionize.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that too.
Double tier type steel.
Yeah, regulate yourselves. Yeah, so I mean, we know we'll see what happens with that, man, because it's such a creative space that it's so hard to introduce a regulation to a space that's supposed to be so creative and open and free. So everybody has to be on the same page about it. So, but I think it will be a good idea for the governing of the industry, and I think it will be a good idea as far as like a look, as far as the unity of the industry as well. I think it'll give it a little bit more legitimacy. You know what I'm saying?
I just think that if you come out with a multiplayer game, here's another one. Madden's guilty of this. Madden is 100% guilty of this because Madden has a professional has their Madden league, right? But their Madden league isn't just like playing each other. It's based on Ultimate Team, which is based on buying players and buying packs, and the better players you have, the better you're going to be. That is 100% case, and that is their prime time competitive scene.
That's like FIFA.
It's the same thing with FIFA. The Ultimate Team for them is that they are the number one culprits. But once again, it's really going to come down to enough of us in the community to say no more before they change it. Until then, people are still going to keep doing it. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. And the government sees it, and they're going to eventually step in and say, this is what's going to have to happen. And we're not going to like it, and we're going to be mad. But we have no one to blame but possibly ourselves because we kept falling for it. Or who do you blame at that point? You know what I mean? That's another question. Yeah. Who do you blame at this point? Do you blame the industry, or do you blame the players that keep buying the microtransactions and paying for it and making the money?
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword for real. I don't think there's really no winners at the end of the day. But
a game get canceled. What was that Star Wars game that was supposed to be coming out for EA?
Which one?
The one that
the one that they
on. Yeah,
I can't remember the name of it.
Whatever, that game got canceled because whenever they showed it to EA said, "Hey, how are you going to monetize it? How are you going to put microtransactions in it?" And they were like, "We're not doing that."
Yeah.
And they said, "Okay, well, guess what? Your studio's being shut down." It's just crazy.
Insane. It's insane. So yeah, I agree. I think a majority of the chat as well were just saying below that they all agree on the pay to win model for sure. Single player, there's a little bit different perspective because once again, you're not hurting anybody but yourself. You're not influencing anybody else or cheating the game in any other way. So, and if you are, it's more of a personal thing. If you're just okay with that, then you're okay with it. But I think a lot of us in agreement with that. It's something that's going to be, we're going to be talking about this again 2-3 years from now, probably as well. As time goes on, the new generation starts, and it's something that I don't think is going to be, settled for a long time. So we'll definitely see where that goes. So this last one, guys. Now we got to have plenty of time for a topic. So right now, if you have questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat right now so we can answer them once we get done with this last topic, man. But appreciate everybody. Make sure you guys smack that like button. Thank you guys for showing up as well. So we're talking about Rage 2, man. That's what we're talking about. So this is a game that I've been hyped about. Fuzzy, you can You
Oh, yeah.
you can vouch for me. It's a game I've been hyped about for probably over a year and a half now. It, I saw the trailer. You know, if you know the funny thing about the trailer, it reminded me of that Sunset Overdrive trailer.
Yeah.
It reminded, and it's for some just the witty, the comedy, but it was done in such a cool way as far as like they interlaced the gameplay, you know, with the whole reverse thing, and you know, it was just cool. A lot of kind of little corny references in there, but you know, if you didn't get them, then whatever. But you know, for the most part, it was a well put together trailer. The game looked fucking great. I mean, it was Mad Max. You know, had a baby with Bulletstorm, who had another baby with, you know, I don't know, a bunch of other shit, you know, Fallout, whatever you want to. I don't. Just insane gameplay. That's what I'm looking for. I mean, it is single player. You know,
It looks amazing though.
it looks amazing. The game looks crisp, looks great, looks fast. You know, it
When's
looks
coming
like
out?
in a Tuesday.
Yeah,
The
Tuesday.
14th,
Tuesday.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm on it. I know you've already pre-ordered it, Fuzzy, but I want to get you guys' opinions on the actual trailer. I'm gonna start with you, Nick. You chomping at the bits over there, man. But
I'm
if you've seen
not
it,
really much of an opinion. I saw the trailer. It looked dope. Game looked fun. It looked very interesting. I've never played Rage 1. I gotta be honest with you, so I
Okay.
wouldn't even know where to begin with the game. But I will say this much: Bethesda needs a W with this one. After
they have to. They have
Fallout
to.
76.
Bro, if this
They
shit
need
comes
a
out, bro, and it
W with
doesn't
this
work,
one, dude.
well, you know what the thing is? The thing is, though, they've had success with the games that they're not their own. The games that they're publishing, they do well with. Doom is fantastic, but they're not. That's not their game. They're just kind of the big brother in that situation.
Right.
They're okay with that. So I think Rage is gonna be fine.
Okay.
The companies that are working on
They
it are
need a
great
W with
too.
this one.
Yeah, I think Rage will be fine. So go ahead, continue, Nick. My bad.
No, I was going to say, since they need a W with this one after the Fallout 76 debacle. The game, like I said, it looks great. It looks amazing. I can't lie about it. Like when I saw, I was like, this actually looks really, really good. Like as far as the resolution and everything, it looks solid. So I don't know if I'll buy it right off the bat. I have a huge backlog that I am trying to clear out, and I have
We
dedicated.
all do, Nick.
I have dedicated.
Why do people even bring up the backlog anymore?
I promised myself this year I was not going to make.
Can we redo the poll? I'm going to add backlog to the poll.
No, but I made myself a promise this year that I would quit the game. So I will watch people play this. If it looks interesting enough, I'll probably cop it.
Okay. All right. You know what the funny thing is though? Rage 2 is kind of one of those games though. Like it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be very well received overall because it knows what it is. I don't feel like it's trying to be anything crazy. I think it's gonna do it, hit the nail on the head and just hit right where it needs to be, and just be that fun ass game. You're gonna see a bunch of people do walkthroughs, you know, and do skill kills and all kind of little cool shit. And it's gonna be really fun to play and stream as well. But I don't know, man. I'm so excited about the game. I'm just so excited about it, man. It's a game kind of like a Just Cause, and they just said it. Sean said it that it's probably gonna fly under some people's radars, even as great as it
Shouldn't.
it shouldn't, but I feel like it will. Mad Max did the same thing, you know, early in this generation. That was a great game, and it just kind of went right over, you know, right up. People didn't even play it. People didn't really talk about it much, but it was an amazing game. So we're gonna go ahead and throw this over to you, man. Stag, what are you thinking, man?
So I hadn't watched the trailer till today, and like the first thing I wrote was "wow." Like literally, I wrote "wow." Like after watching that first trailer, I was just like, the game looks so insane. It made me laugh. I didn't play a lot of the first one. I mean, I really liked a lot of the characters in the first one. I just bring up that B word backlog and started playing other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Never got back to it. And even when it's backwards compatible now, I've tried it again. But like it really looks really good. It actually, like you said, it reminded you of what game did you say?
Bulletstorm.
Did you say Bulletstorm? I was thinking like a little bit of like some Crysis too, like just
Crysis,
how, like, how the
true.
guy moves around and stuff, and
the slide and the speed.
Yeah, I really liked how it's not just going to be like a desert wasteland too. Like there's going to be different parts of the earth. You know what I mean? Like biomes and stuff like that, and just what you can do in the game looks great. And that it's open world, and they had the guys from Just Cause, you know, do the open world stuff, and you know they've got a couple different developers working on different parts of the game to make it so awesome, and like did a collaboration. I just don't really feel like this game's gonna miss.
Yeah. It does feel that way. I'm super in agreement. It's in the timing of the game as well. It greatly benefited from coming out in May. There's really not much going on right now, and I think it's going to benefit from Anthem not being as big. Division is great, but I think it's so different from Division. And it's a game you're going to be able to jump into, do a level, do a couple side missions, and be fully satisfied. You don't need to dedicate a ton of time playing this game. You're going to be able to jump in, get satisfied, jump out. You may have completed in I don't know, week or so, but you jump in, jump out, play a few hours, do a few things. So I'm really excited about it. It, like you said, it looks great. What you guys know what engine they're using at all? Anybody know the engine they're using?
Let's find out.
Apex, I think part of that, and then they're using the Just Cause 3 or
Apex engine.
It's Apex? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Awesome. This thing looks goddamn beautiful, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it day one, so I pre-ordered the collector's edition. I'm excited. So
nice. So Fuzz, I know, man. I know you're on it. You got shit pre-ordered. What we doing, man? What's going on?
Just I know this is probably frowned upon in some areas, but I took the day off from work, so I'm gonna definitely dedicate some time to blaze through it. Just have some fun.
I took the day off work, man. I've done that before, bro. You know what? At least taking a day off for a game that actually looks promising. I took a day off for Mass Effect Andromeda.
I still enjoyed that one too, but I can feel your pain on that one. But I just, being a Mad Max fan, Mad Max was like the surprise hit for me. Like I knew I was going to like it just because car combat, and I'm fan of the movie and stuff like that. Even though it wasn't really based around a particular movie, but it was kind of like a loose interpretation type of thing. It was like an A1 hit, and it's one that I wish they would do like an Xbox One X enhanced type of thing to it. But that game was awesome, fun with playing Doom, and then to mix the two of those kind of, and then this trailer, like this for me. I didn't play Rage 1, but a little bit of backstory. I didn't even play the first Saints Row or the second Saints Row. I didn't play the second Saints Row until after the third one or the fourth one or something like that, because it was like a freebie. But when that trailer came out, it wasn't just the craziness of the Saints Row trailer that caught my eye. It was like some of the humor and just the freedom to do just random stuff in the game. And I see that same type of freedom to just do random stuff in the game with this one, where you have that boomerang throwing star type of thing, all the types of weapons, all the different power-ups, and then they have I guess they have a cheat code actually built in, the deluxe edition, where you got like commentators and you're blowing up stuff and throwing people into the sky. It's just that whole commercial, just that trailer, just pull at the heartstrings. That I know this is just gonna be a ton of fun.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to take that day off and just play through as much as I can, and then it's going to be one of those games I have to put the Division and Forza down for a little bit.
And that's the thing, though, is it's going to be satisfying, because once you pick Division back up, you can always go back to Rage. I mean, I don't know what the campaign is looking like as far as the hours. I haven't done really much any research. I'm just excited about the game, so I haven't really dove too deep into like the numbers and how long the campaign is supposed to be. But like I said, it just has the looks of a game that I'm going to dive into, play a couple hours before bed, whatever the case may be, for work, and then I'm cool. I do a couple things, feel accomplished, and then jump out. I don't really feel dedicated to having to complete a certain thing. Yeah, maybe if I start like maybe they have bounties or a certain mission, maybe I feel like I need to complete that. But for the most part, I feel like, a single player, you're going to be able to just kind of go at your own pace. And but the game looks amazing. I'm so happy and I'm so excited. And Nick, no need to worry. I don't think Bethesda's going to fuck this one up, bro. I'm pretty cool. I know you reserved over there, but I feel good about this, Nick.
I mean, look, I've said I've looked at it. I think it's going to be a good game. What my stance is, it better be a good game, because
wait a minute, you just said.
Here's the deal. I think it's going to be a good game, but Bethesda needs to be sitting down and praying that it's not a bad game, because I don't like they've had such a great track record. I think 2 bad releases in a row like that won't do well for them. That's
Yeah,
just
but
my
they can
opinion.
always cop out and say, "Well, we just published it. We didn't develop it."
Yeah, well, that's true too. We should have
So
published it though.
They putting the
they can
EA
just
on
they
the
can
Shouldn't have
pass the
published
buck
it.
on that one.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just got a feeling that
I'm
the
still
game's
waiting
gonna
for
be fun.
Starfield.
Oh
It
well,
looks really
yeah,
good. I mean,
Yeah.
the
For
3D
Starfield.
and-
Just
yeah.
saying. That's all I'm waiting for. Starfield.
we'll see. We'll definitely see though. But I'm hoping. I know Fuzz. I know I'm getting it as well, so I'm not even worried about it. So yeah, I'll definitely be jumping on myself for sure. But either way, man, that was the last topic we actually had for the show. But once again, leave your questions in the chat right now. I'm going to take as many as we possibly can to the end of the show. For about 10, 12 minutes or so, if we want to go a little bit over. We got a couple questions in the chat right now. Shout out to the moderator of the year, my guy Shonsu, man. Appreciate you. So this is to the panel here as well as to you guys in the chat. He said, what feature will define the next generation for you and make the upgrade worth your money? I feel like we've talked about this before. I feel like I've made a poll about this, but I guess I'll start with myself. Feature. Wait, so the feature is kind of like a feature in a game. Does it matter whether it be a game feature or like a system feature, or does it make it? I mean,
I think he's going for the systems.
a system feature.
That's my personal opinion.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll go system feature. Oh man, the xCloud stuff is intriguing. The Play Anywhere stuff is very intriguing, just because mobile's so big. And I don't see that market like not trying to embrace gaming. Trying to stick its foot. Trying to get some relevance in the gaming world. And with Amazon and Google getting on board, and the more of these gigantic tech companies come along and throw their hat in the ring, it's just going to make that more viable as they put more money and resources towards that medium. So I'm thinking, maybe XPlay, not soon, to be honest, not within the next maybe 3 or 4 years, but 5, 6, 7 years out, maybe 5G is super viable. Everybody has decent internet at that point. Lord forbid that ever happens, but it's too many politics involved. But either way, either way, I think that there's some relevancy there. I think that's a next evolutionary step as far as gaming, being able to take it on the go. And the more we become integrated with all these different devices, being able to have that access everywhere is going to be heavily explored. So we'll definitely see. But I may be hit or miss on that, but we'll see. So who else? Which one of you guys want to take that?
I think really what it's going to come down to, because I think both of these two consoles are going to be very similar. I think when they both, when they both start to reveal what they are, it's going to come down to what services that each company provides. It's going to really be the nail in the coffin. Like, what can you provide beyond just the power and the specs? Because like I said, they're going to be very similar. Like, what can you provide that's going to be a service, and what's going to be something that's worth purchasing this console for? I think that's what's going to be the defining factor. And we've kind of hinted, Sony's kind of hinted that that's what they're doing. The president's been talking about, well, the future of gaming is this and that and this and that. We already know that what Xbox has planned. So what will one of these two do? That's what I think is going to be the defining one, is just whatever they can offer service-wise.
Okay, so services will be, I guess, will be your answer at that point. So different types of services, it could be anything. So that's a great point, because service as a gaming, services is game, or gaming is services, whatever, however you say it. That's definitely something that is real. And Bill's talked about it at great length. All these big publishers have talked about it. Even Sony, to some degree, have talked about it as well. So we're definitely seeing things going that way. So Stag, man, what do you think, man?
I think I'm buying both. I mean, there's not going to be a defining factor for me anymore, because I've moved on. I mean, I'm getting the Xbox first. I mean, unless the PS4 5 comes out first, but I'll be getting both just because I want to play everything now. I don't want to just pigeonhole myself into this console or that console. What would make it great for me, though, is quicker install times. Like, whoever has better install times is
That's that SSD.
I mean, like, I want, and like, better load times. Those would be defining for me. If I had to make a choice and I wasn't already entrenched heavily in Xbox in my gamer score, and I was just going from like what is going to get me to my games fastest and load in between chapters, load screens, whatever, faster, I would probably base my decision off of that.
Pretty interesting take. Interesting take. Yeah, for sure. That's a, I don't know. I mean, load times. Yeah. I mean, I can
Time
see
is
that.
everything, baby. Time is
Yeah.
everything.
That's true. Time is everything. That's a great point. So yeah, that's true. So all right, no, that's a great point. So Buzz, where you at, man, with this? Where you at?
That's a tough one to narrow down. I mean, I do like the load times aspect of things. I want to definitely see that improve. I want to see install times improve. I want to see
Oh, thank
update
Lord.
times
Yeah.
improve. I
Yeah.
mean, it just seems like, I mean, not to pick on one of our favorite games, Anthem, but it's like load screen simulator.
Ah,
That just has to, this next generation, that has to be something of the past. Like there are games that are pretty good with their load screens where okay, you're walking slow from one part of the screen to the next, and that's kind of like the load screen, but there's got to be a faster, or a more of a robust setup so the load screens are go by the wayside. But I think for me, what's going to make it worth it for me and probably keep me from building a PC is the graphics. While they're amazing now, 4K resolution, some of them 60, most of them 30 frames per second. I think now with that new chipset, both of them are going to be able to provide 4K 60. It's just going to come down to who's going to really have all those little bells and whistles that the PC chips can have, as far as like the different lighting, the different shadows, the different weather effects and things like that. I think for me, what's going to make it worth it is where the graphics are. Like now, some people look at my replays for Forza, that family members and friends and stuff, and they're like, "Wait, is this a game or is this a real video or something?" I I, I want that almost photorealistic stuff on a lot of the sports games to go even further, and whoever can give all those bells and whistles as far as like particle effects and things like that. I think for me, that's what's going to make it worth it for me. Where, yeah, I'm still always on the fence. Should I build a PC and know that I can have all these bells and whistles at my beckoning call? If my wallet can hold up to it.
yeah.
But at a $500 price point, if they can get all those bells and whistles squeezed into that price point, it'll definitely be worth
Yeah.
it for me.
Okay. Great point. Great point. So we're gonna go ahead and take one, maybe two more questions if we got the time. Thank you guys for everybody showing up as well. Appreciate you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and take Caleb's question. We'll answer here quickly. Shout out to Caleb Todd. Thank you for showing up, brother. He said, "What are you hoping for as a surprise reveal at E3?" So we're gonna do a lightning round on this one. Keep this short, and sweet, man. No time to think, man. I guess you can go first over there, hyperventilating. Nick. So go ahead. What surprise, man? E3
For Xbox, I need Fable. I need Fable from Xbox. That's what I need from Xbox. From Nintendo, I don't care. Just give me a date for Luigi's Mansion. I'm good. But for Xbox, for sure, Fable.
Okay. All right. Surprise. All right. What about you, Stag? Where you at?
My buddy's looking forward to a new Splinter Cell possible
God
reveal.
damn it, Stag! You
Did
stole
I take your shit? Yes, I win.
Shit,
So,
man.
but
All right,
yeah,
go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, my buddy's super hyped about a Splinter Cell. So I mean,
about
that'd
you?
be cool. Me, man, shit. I'm just happy to be there.
That's a great point. That's a great.
But like, I would like to see, we talked about last time I was on the Nintendo handheld. If there's going to be a more powerful version, I would love to see that reveal. So
that would be cool. Okay,
yeah.
another DS.
I double that too.
Well, see,
I don't think it's gonna happen. But I don't think it's gonna happen. But I double that.
Yeah,
Didn't they just-
I'd be a day one purchase for me.
Okay, for sure. Okay, what about you, Fuzz?
All right, I'm gonna go with some wild ones here. I even talked a little bit about it earlier today. I finally want to see what this next Avatar is going to look like. I know the movie's not even finished yet, but
2021, I think they just pushed it back, right?
That's
cool. But I know Massive is also working on that, and I like some of their recent work with Division 1 and 2. So curious to see if we'll even hear anything more about that game. I would love to see. This is going to be a tough one. Was it Beyond Good and Evil? I know we've already seen some of it,
Yeah,
but the scope of that game just seems so beyond what our current consoles can do. I just want to have them give us more of a realistic expectation. I don't want another Watch Dogs, 2013, 2014, where it's like, oh, the game is this, and you get a third of that type of deal.
Yeah.
I want to see actual gameplay, realistic scope of Beyond Good and Evil, and then I know it's in the early phases. I want to see Forza Motorsport 8. I want to see how much they've listened to the community so far and where it's going as far as racing, because I want to see drag racing. I want to see more emphasis on that. I want to see Pikes Peak type racing. I want to see rally stuff mixed in. I don't want to just see, paved circuits only. I want to see a mixture of stuff. So we'll see how that goes. So
okay. And for me, if it hadn't been spoiled already, it would have been a great fucking reveal. Anyway, I'm definitely all for Splinter Cell. I'd love to see another one. I feel like it needs to be done. Fable for sure. We've talked about it on the show. I don't really even need to say that. I mean, Fable's for sure something I definitely like to see in any capacity. Don't know who would be doing it. There's some candidates out there, but I'm not entirely sure who'd be doing it. But definitely love to see something.
Lionhead's coming back. That'd be dope.
That and an
surprise! Lionhead Studios is back and they're doing Fable. That's what
wait a minute. Hold on. We'll
You've taken a team from Obsidian and Playground Games and made Lionhead. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my goodness! Here we go. So anyway, we're not gonna get the rumor mill. Everybody, stop right now. Get off your phone. Put it down. No, we haven't got that shit from anywhere besides Nick. So Nick,
making stuff
started. Hey, it's happening now.
You heard it here first.
Like clickbait. We don't do clickbait. Okay, anti-clickbait. Cut it out. No, for sure. But no, for me, yeah, those two games would be great. It's really all I really need. That's really all I'd be looking for. I mean, there's other things, obviously, but one would be the other one. I don't want to miss this one. An open world Halo. If Halo was open world, I think that would be a great.
Doesn't have a battle royale. I'm happy.
I don't know. I mean, there was some information. Yeah, that's
it's gonna happen, man.
I'm not gonna play that mode though. I'll tell you that much.
I know, but it's funny though. Like Halo is like technically
kind of
a battle royale game. Though,
yeah,
because it started out with picking up weapons. Like Halo would be the perfect game for that, I guess.
Yeah. I think the community would get behind that with the Forge and all that kind of kooky shit you can do.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would be supported.
Yeah, but
I'm just not a battle royale guy.
Yeah.
I just want to see like a 50 versus 50. That'd
be cool. I'd be down with that.
Yeah, that's true.
Get shot from everywhere.
Double the size of big team battle and shit, like make it
cool,
30, 40, 50 people, something like that. That'd be insane. So with that budget, if the budget is what we think it is, they may be doing some crazy shit. So, but we'll definitely see. But I think we got time for one more question in the chat. I know there was a couple. I feel like I missed a few. Where the hell was Caleb? Born Distracted. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you showing up, brother. He said, I guess we're gonna end on this one. Yeah, he said, what do you guys think is Sony's secret sauce? Now, this is a dreaded secret sauce. I just said we're not gonna start no rumors, but fuck it. I mean, I guess we're gonna end on this one. Nick, you want to go ahead and take a shot? Secret sauce? Anybody?
Sony's secret sauce is stealing the other ideas from the other two companies. That's their secret sauce.
Oh my God, Nick, we're trying to keep it.
Look, I'm just saying.
That's the secret sauce.
That's secret sauce. We're gonna wait in the corner. What's Nintendo doing? What's Xbox doing? Okay, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do that, and we're not gonna do that. Okay.
The strategy's been fruitful so far. So I mean,
shots fired. Yes.
Yeah.
I just fired shots.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Their secret sauce is definitely not multiplayer.
Come on. Listen, he's taking a turn for the worse.
I mean, I have a PlayStation, but I mean, I bought it for single player games. So I mean, I think honestly, that's their secret sauce is amazing exclusive single player games.
All right. So,
I'm firing shots and being real.
That's just something that would help. If they actually had a decent multiplayer, exclusive or something that they could get behind, that would be beneficial. It wouldn't be bad.
You remember the Halo killer, right?
Yeah, that thing called Killzone.
Yeah, remember that? That worked out great.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. PlayStation All Star. Anyway, and we're gonna stop. Anyway, go ahead, Buzz. It is on you, man.
I was going to take
I'm
this
just gonna be
on
quiet again.
a different rail, or I was going to knock it completely off the rails by saying like it's Mark Cerny. No, what I was going to say the tears of never mind. It's no, their secret sauce is like I'm going to agree with Staggerly on this one. It's their single player games. I mean, yeah, they're going to squeeze some tech in there, but they do single player games like nobody's business. So that's
That's all they can do.
that's
Well,
I'm not going to disagree,
really
but that's what they're known for, and they've definitely been doing it for a while and been getting good at it. So yeah, single player games is their secret
never
sauce.
mind. I gotta be quiet. Y'all get me started. Let me just be quiet.
Look,
Let me just be
go down
quiet.
a lot of years in
winding
the
road.
industry too. They've got a lot. They're deeply entrenched.
We've been a long, winding road. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I'm just really, I don't know. I mean, for me, I mean,
Simon Gunner said state of play. The secret sauce.
Cut it out. Cut it out, man. Cut it out. All right. Leave state of play alone. All right. Leave it alone. All right. But anyway, I mean, so you guys say exclusive, but that's not really a secret. We know that they do those well. I mean, I see the backhanded, kind of remark there, but that's not really a secret that they do those games very well. It's kind of their bread and butter. We see, the games that do well, sell the well, score the best and sell the most on that particular platform outside of the third party stuff, the multi-plat stuff, usually does very, very good. So, I mean, that's not much of a secret, but I mean, I have no idea at this point. By them skipping E3 and who knows if they're doing PSX, they putting out that, fucking PS5 specs hella early, randomly on Twitter, no press conference, no nothing.
They still got stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, we know.
They just showed Final
more
Fantasy, and they're gonna show more Final. They're gonna show that in June, and they got some up.
Yeah. The crazy thing about it was that you got to look up the wording. Now we know they came out. It's in the tweet. It's an official tweet statement. We're not going to be doing anything around E3. When they said that they weren't going to E3, the statement was also made that they weren't going to be doing anything around the show. What the fuck does around the show mean? A day or two away from the show?
During the show, I guess, or anything.
That's a vague statement.
They're going to do their own thing, but they've already
I think it means they're not doing anything in California or wherever the show is being.
Yeah, so on their own. But that's what I'm saying. That doesn't mean they're not doing anything.
They could definitely just surprise everyone and
exactly.
throw out the freaking conference right at the same time.
They are. That's what what.
Like Xbox could go do their conference and then Sony just like bam at the same time. Hey, we're live with ours
on Twitch or whatever the case may be.
Here's our state of play live.
State of play live,
you guys. Here's all of our reviews.
Console reveal.
I mean, now listen, guys. I know you guys looking at us right now saying take the tinfoil hat off. But listen,
that's not a tinfoil hat.
No, some people may know. Fuzz. I know Fuzz. You got to speak up on this because this is something he's been a champion of the. I feel like they got something else going on.
Yeah.
So you got to throw.
They have a knack for spoiling other companies' fun. Like when it's their time to shine, they'll throw out sales numbers, or when it's another company's time to shine with a game launch, they'll do a reveal trailer for one of their big IPs. So my gut's telling me that whole state of play, just with it coming out of left field, they did it a couple of months earlier to kind of test the waters. And that's going to be, instead of it being at 25th or 28th of the month, they're going to magically have one on the 11th. And that's going to surprise, it's not going to surprise me, but it shouldn't surprise anyone at this point.
I agree with you.
They're going to do some sort of, sneak. I won't say sneaky. It's not really sneaky. It's just they're going to do a surprise announcement and take the media focus off of Xbox. Xbox is going to have all the cameras on them, and then 30 minutes later, everybody will be talking about, "Oh, Sony just dropped this trailer, or Sony did this," and it's like,
what?
Didn't need to go to E3.
I'm glad that you said that because we were on the Saltiest Gaming podcast, and they were talking about that when Sony said, "Hey, we're not going to E3." They were like, "Oh my gosh, we're not going to E3. It's a big deal." And I was like, "No, it's not. It's not a big deal." I go, "Dude, it's 2019. They can do whatever they want to. They can announce whenever they want to. They can do a live stream whenever they want to, and the media is going to get behind them. So it doesn't really matter."
And the fact that they didn't give they didn't have a PSX last year, so they've kind of starved the fan base for a long stretch of time here. So any news now, once again, we're getting the news in kind of an odd way as far as a big information like specs, the official specs, are kind of crazy to get just a tweet, not around a press conference. But once again, they're gauging reaction, how the internet's moving after small tidbits of information like that. So I'm not out on the limb here to think that was a really, really vague statement. They're not going to do anything, and they're just going to allow Xbox and whoever else, Bethesda, Ubi, to just go the whole week.
We know they're doing something though, because they even said like at the end of the state of play, they talked about how they're going to have more that has to do with the Final Fantasy VII remake. They said in June they're going to reveal more in June. So like, who's to say that they're not going to reveal more plus and more other stuff in June as well?
Yeah, like you said,
everybody knows E3 is in June.
I look at what Sony's kind of doing though is in a little bit of a different take, and I don't know, maybe you guys have thought about this, but it's almost like a cockiness. Like,
oh yeah,
we don't need any of that anymore. We have been on top of this mountain for so long that nothing is. It's like those banks that were too big to fail, right?
Oh yeah.
The king doesn't stay king forever, and I think they never know when it's coming, and the people underneath you are always working harder. You get comfortable, you get cocky, and something happens. Now, not saying they're not going to roll out some great shit next gen, but they might not have as much of the market as they think they do next gen. You know what I mean? So
that's true. Anything can happen.
Yeah, and they might be shooting themselves in the foot with these state of plays that they haven't had a huge, wonderful response. So
true, kind of lukewarm reception for the most part.
Yep,
pretty lukewarm. So all right, so that was a great questions, everybody. We're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up, man. This was an amazing show, man. We have so much fun, man. Once again, if you came, you showed up, you showed out like you guys do every single week, man. We have so much fun on the show. And before we head out, I will definitely let all my guests here, my panel member as well, kind of let everybody know what's going on with them. Let everybody know where they can follow them, man. You guys are amazing. Smack that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Appreciate you guys so much. We're going to go ahead and start with you, Nick. Let everybody know once again where they can find you, what you got coming up, man. What's going on?
All right, so Nintendo Direct. I have two different channels. So the channel that normally I do is called Nintendo Direct, and that was where I normally did video game news and Nintendo news, and I did my live streams there, and some reaction stuff. And then I recently started a new channel called Studio Nintendo. That's where not my whole focus is going, but it's a lot of my focus is going there because I'm doing a lot of video game covers. Please step over there and check that out. We're at 75, 77 subs, trying to hit 100 at least by the end of the week. Hopefully we can do that. Go over there, check out those videos. I hope you guys really like those, as well as my regular channel. I'm still going to be doing the game streaming and stuff over there, but my focus is mainly right now trying to get this whole Studio Nintendo thing kicked off. So once again, PTK, thanks for having me on here, bro. Really do appreciate it.
Not a problem. I know we can't always link up as far as time, man. We work a whole lot, but every time you come on, it's always a fun time. And I know the chat appreciates you. Everybody on the panel appreciates you. We don't have all our members available right now, but I'm pretty sure, man, they miss you as well. But appreciate you. Once again, everybody, that information for his channel will be in the description below. If you follow me, you subscribe to me, please do me a favor and go follow him. Support what this man is doing. He's one of the most honorable gamers out there. Always tells it real. Always gives 110%. He's doing something very unique as well on that Studio Nick channel. Please go support that, man. At least go check it out. Give him some positive feedback. All right, everybody. So make sure you guys go do that. Now, next guy, becoming a huge friend of mine, man. I just kind of recently met him. Always a huge guy in the community. Great streamer, Stag, man. Let everybody know what you got going on, what you got coming up, where they can find you.
I don't really have anything coming up. I mean, you can find me on Twitter, and you can find me on the Mixer with the Xdagger, Xlee, X. I hate that X crap, but it's there. I mean, I just grinding the streams. I'm going to E3. Got into FanFest, luckily. So, I mean, if any of you guys listening are going to be there at E3, come on. Look for the guy with lots of tattoos and a really long beard and say hi.
Nice. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Once again, go follow him. I will make sure his Mixer information is in the description below. He streams for charities. Go support that, please, man. He's always doing positive things in the community. We need more of that, people. So please go support what he's doing over there. I appreciate you, Stag, for taking the time out, man. Today, I know it was kind of last minute. I hit you up a couple days ago, but
No
you know,
problem.
you were open and available. So appreciate it, man. Once again, say hi to the family for me as well. You know, your wife and your kids, man. Appreciate you for taking some time. Now, Fuzz. We had to drag you out of your cave once again, brother. If it's not Forza, it's Division 2. If it's not Division 2, it's him sleeping on his damn Xbox and leaving his shit idle. Me thinking you actually on the game and I'm hitting you up and you ain't even responding to me. But anyway, that's a whole nother that's a whole nother topic. But Fuzz, let everybody know what's going on with you, what you got going. What you got coming up, man.
Awesome guest today. Thanks, Nintendo and Stagger Lee, for joining us. Awesome chat. Thank you guys for joining us. Hey, you can find me at fuzzy_Belvedere on Twitter and on PSN, or fuzzy space Belvedere on Xbox Live. Like PTK said, either playing Forza, Division 2, or possibly idle, fast asleep. But, definitely always looking to have fun in gaming. Always looking forward to talking about games and you know, the industry in general. Thanks to everybody for coming out. Awesome show.
Appreciate it, man. And catch your boy, your host with the most, PTK Blam, across the board. Xbox, if you want to come play, PTK Blam there. Catch me, first name, last name, on Twitter as well. All of that information in the description below. Appreciate you guys for coming out, man. We're on the road to 2K subscribers. So if you know anybody that enjoys gaming, get your gaming fix here on the weekends. We have the best show on the weekends, man. We really, really do, man. We get on a great show, great topics, an hour or so-ish, I guess. Today, I guess. But we put on a great show and we have a lot of fun. That's really what's the most important. We talk games, no nonsense, no BS. That's what you're going to get here. So appreciate the love and support. Got a lot of things coming. Got a bunch of cool shit coming. By the way, I want to let everybody know before you leave and exit, we are definitely live streaming the Xbox show E3 when E3 rolls around. So I'm putting that out there right now. I'm putting it out there early. So clear your schedule. It's on Sunday, right? Which is the 9th?
Yeah.
Of June at 1. You said 1 p.m. Was that Pacific time, I think? Since it's in California. So 1 p.m. Pacific, we will be live streaming right here on the Shop Podcast. I'm going to try and get as many people as I possibly can. Maybe Stag. Oh, Stag will be there. So never mind.
I'm going to be
Stag,
there, yeah. I'm gonna
whoever
be
else I can grab, whoever else I can grab, I'll get him in the show. But appreciate you guys, man. Looking forward to that. It's going to be a big day for everybody. Doesn't matter who you're a fan of, but thank you. Love, peace. We will be here once again next week with another guest. Great topics. Peace out. Love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Later.